Assalamu alaikum everyone. Good morning and good afternoon, depending upon where you are joining from. It's pleasant to have you onboarded for this particular webinar. The webinar is going to talk in the future, and we are going to focus specifically with regards to your situation of Oracle E-Business Suite or Hyperion, depending upon what component you are currently having. Along with me, I have Gary, who is going to be co-presenter for this particular webinar, and we are going to walk through with regards to key aspect, what you should consider as far as your journey is concerned. If you see the agenda, then we have made it very suitable for the customers like you to talk about the current situation and what are the aspects which are required to be considered upon. It would be followed by the paradigm shift which we as Evosys are seeing in market. It would also contain the accelerators and the journey, how we have taken for our customers who were sitting similar to you on Oracle E-Business Suite or Hyperion, and help you understand that what were the aspects were considered over there. At the closing, we have something special for you, and we wanted to share that how we can work together after this particular thing. So stay back and till the end, and we wanted to make sure that you get best out of this on next 1 hour from this webinar. Having said that, I would like to pass it for the first section to Gary. Gary, over to you.
Thank you very much, Gihaz. It's always a pleasure to support Evosys in the events like this. We really appreciate the partnership. My name's Gary Brocklehurst, so good morning, good afternoon to everybody. I am the ERP EPM strategy leader. I'm actually based in Dubai. I focus on the Gulf region. So I'm going to just take you through the need really to build an agile and resilient backbone for our finance and operations. Okay. So let's start. So we all know that you know, when the pandemic hits almost 12 months ago now, then the world stopped and everything that we thought was normal was turned upside down. You know, initiatives that we saw as maybe near-term objectives were suddenly put into sharp focus. And one thing that became very, very clear through all of the uncertainty and what things that became very certain very quickly was the importance of having a digital backbone to support resilience and agility for finance and operations. So, you know, we saw overnight companies completely changing their business models. We saw the normal paradigm of making the East and selling the West completely disappear. So the time for change is clearly upon us. However, if you're looking for technology to support that transformation, then here's some examples of how technology can completely change the parameters in which we currently work in. So if you look at a recent study from McKinsey, it points out that if you look at the normal finance function, then if we were to apply automation and AI, we could actually reduce the amount of manual effort in finance by 89%. Similarly, in our supply chain, if we started to employ more Internet of Things, more sensors, then the average reduction in days to fill orders with IoT would actually come down by about 6 days. So technology does play a part, and the world is looking to technology to help them to get through this period and come out even stronger on the other side. However, if you're, if you're still, like the person on the right-hand side here, trying to kind of unravel a ball of string, you're still, continuous close is a long way away for you. You're still having trouble, closing books remotely. Then now is the time for you to start thinking about building a resilient and agile finance and operations. So how do we go about doing that? Okay, so I'm going to go through some slides on how to build resilient finance and operations. And it really does start with automation and the ability to boost productivity within your organization and refocus those resources for more near-term forecasting, planning, and then be able to adjust the course of your business in a much more agile way than you currently do today. It's also very important to focus on the customer, and that means aligning operations and supply chain to these new business changing environments. So here's a couple of examples of how we can build a resilient and finance operations. So the first thing is when you upgrade your last upgrade to the Oracle ERP cloud, then you're immediately on one solution, one unified solution that allows you to connect all of your business functions together. So end-to-end business operations become possible. The processes are automatically built into the system, are all pre-connected. There's no data silos. The ability to share information is important, and that information will flow across the business. So these are just some of the examples of the benefits of having a single unified platform, which is what you get when you upgrade from on-premise e-business suite to ERP cloud. So here's another example. I talked about built-in standard processes. So all of the processes within the ERP cloud are all intelligent processes. They're all using AI, machine learning. We use mobility. We're using digital assistants to really change the way in which the organization interacts with our systems, and more importantly, how they're able to get information out of the system to be able to use that to make better decisions. So how do we then move on from there to outperform with agility? So agility is about planning. So it's being able to model potential scenarios and plan for multiple outcomes that we can then decide which is the right course of action. So an example of that is within Cloud ERP and EPM. So the ability to do agile planning at a much more granular level with a much finer time horizon, but also the importance of being able to bring in external information. So we can no longer just plan within our own organization. We need to bring in trusted third-party data to help us to build more realistic plans and more realistic scenarios that will help us make better decisions. So it's all about moving from analysis to action. So, if you look at yesterday, and I think for many on this call, this is probably today, we do a lot of our planning on spreadsheets. We take lots of extracts out of our e-business suite system to help us to kind of make models. The way that people are moving today is to go to EPM. So EPM in the cloud allows you to eliminate all of those spreadsheets. So we have a very consistent cross-functional view of our line of business plans. But when you go to ERP cloud and EPM cloud, you're also future-proofing yourself with the ability then to do intelligent performance management. And what that allows you to do is to use AI and machine learning to do auto predictions. So the system can actually give you a forecast prediction which you can use as a starting point. The system will start to look for correlations across the organization. So if my sales are down in one region, it will start to look at root causes for that, which could well be lie in the HR system, and it could be that you have a problem with sales recruitment within that area. We are able to do simulations with all of those data to see which is the best course of action for our organization. So when you go from spreadsheets to EPM, you're then on the path to go to IPM, Intelligent Process Performance Management. And that's where we go from spending time on analysis to actually taking action. Okay, so the other ingredient that we have as part of our recipe to build a resilient finance operation is to grow with a proven partnership. So in the new world, it's not possible to do all of this by yourself. So being able to have a partner with you, like Evosys and like Oracle, we can start to help you with the innovation you need to navigate through these uncertain times. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about the partnership and point out that from an industry analyst perspective, the Oracle ERP Cloud is now regarded as the leader in almost every category that they do measurements for. So clearly, leader for financials, for performance management, for financial planning, for close, for HCM, for talent, for manufacturing, transportation, warehouse. So in the past, you used to have to make a choice between whether you wanted a unified suite of applications or you wanted a best of breed applications that maybe gave you more functionality. That is a thing of the past now. So the Oracle ERP Cloud is the unified best of breed solution. So we've come a long way since we launched the ERP Cloud more than 10 years ago now. So we have more than 7,300 customers across the world that are now live, getting all the benefits of the ERP Cloud every day. Here's some examples from different industries. We've been very lucky in the region to work with Evosys on a number of really flagship customers. Some of these I'm personally involved in. Gulf Drilling in Qatar, Vodafone, Doha Bank, Abu Dhabi Media. These are just some of the customers where that partnership is just so important. And if you talk to our cloud customers, they talk about the partnership as probably being as more important than the actual delivery of the technology. So being able to adopt the technology and apply that technology is where the partnership comes in. So really, to wrap up, there's a choice. So the people on this call today, majority are on eBusiness Suite. So the question is whether you stay on-premise on eBusiness Suite or you do your last ever upgrade to the Oracle ERP Cloud. The choice is one that is up to you. So Oracle is not forcing anybody to move to the cloud. So we are supporting eBusiness Suite until 2030, and so it's a decision that you need to make. But this might help you make the decision, make a better decision. So everybody's familiar with this upgrade schedule that we see in front of us. So on-premise, you start off with an implementation, and then maybe every 4 to 5 years you do an upgrade. And that does give you some level of additional value. And then you wait another 5 years and you get another upgrade that gives you some more value. In terms of innovation and in terms of value, it's increasing, but it's not increasing at the speed that we need to meet the market conditions that we're working in. So the alternative is to upgrade and do your last ever upgrade to Oracle Cloud. You will see an immediate productivity gain within your organization. And once you're on the cloud, instead of 5-year updates, we have 90-day updates. That allows you to then take innovation as often as you need it, A little innovation often allows you to kind of build up a capability that will give you a much better sense of value over time than being on eBusiness Suite. So if you then start to take some of the more advanced features within cloud, then obviously the trajectory of value increases even more. And don't forget, it's the last upgrade you will ever do. You will never do another upgrade again. You will never have to go to the CFO and ask him to put a budget line for an upgrade, a budget line in there for a hardware refresh. That's gone forever. So this slide shows those costs that disappear forever. On the left-hand side, you'll see all the costs that mount up to deliver a traditional on-premise application. Compare with that on the right-hand side, where you pay the cloud subscription, and that includes everything: the run and maintain, all of the 90-day updates, everything. And then the run and maintain for that is then very, very small compared with the traditional on-premise model. So the costs are always lower. But that's not the main reason why people go to the cloud. So the main reason why people go to the cloud is they're looking for that boost in productivity. And we benchmark all of our customers. So anybody that goes from on-premise to cloud, we will benchmark the before and after in terms of key KPIs like closing process, like the procurement process. And we publish that as a benchmark. The latest one is now out. It's in 2020. You can go to our website and download that. So this is the average for our customers. So what they say is when they upgrade from eBusiness Suite to Oracle ERP Cloud, they're seeing 35% improvement in productivity. And all of these numbers are within the first year. After that, these numbers start to grow as you start to take more innovation and more functionality. So a 27% average for the closing process, 26% improvement in financial management, and all of that comes, what our customers tell us, on average, a 23% drop in maintenance costs. So 35% higher productivity, 23% less cost. So the business case for change is very, very compelling. So I wanted to finish on that slide. I just want to kind of reiterate the partnership that we have with Evosys and how that translates into customer success and customer satisfaction. I wanted to point out that as I said, the unified platform is now the best of breed. It's the most complete cloud for your business. Every part of your business can be supported by one system, one cloud solution, all on the same data model, all with the same connected process and connected UX. And you're joining a resilient community. So there's 7,300 people exactly like you that have done this before. And you join that community and you can share information amongst yourselves. So one of the things about cloud is that we're able to join all those 7,300 customers together in what we call the Cloud Customer Connect. And they share information, and between them they submit new ideas for new functionality, which our development team will then take and put into the next product. So I wanted to finish on that note, Vikas, and hand back to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gary. I guess you raised very interesting points, and I was resonating with few of my customers with him being interacted. They were referring that they came for the cost saving to cloud, but they stayed for the innovation and the growth which they are seeing on cloud. So thank you for sharing your thoughts on that. Now, as a second part, myself, Vikas Surani, I have been with Evosys for more than 10 years, and I'm passionate about digital transformation, and these are the areas where we are putting more focus upon and helping you to derive better value from your investments. Before I proceed to the paradigm shift and what we see in market similar to the state where you are currently, I wanted to just understand that considering the current audience in this room, that what kind of systems are you using and what describes the best systems which you're currently using. So that should be a poll questions in front of you. Appreciate if you can respond to that. You should be able to see a poll question in front of you. What best describes your ERP application? Are you currently sitting on Oracle eBusiness Suite or 12.1? Or are you sitting on already upgraded from 12.1 to, let's say, 12.2? It could be any of the version. It could be 3, 9, or it could be the latest one which has been launched on September 2020, version 10. You may be also using Hyperion. So we have kept it multi-select. So you may also select Hyperion as a EPM component on-premises solution, which we have from Oracle. You may be also using mix of Oracle and non-Oracle ERP. You may be using Primavera. You may be using some other solution, which is a combination of Oracle and non-Oracle. So you may select second last option. And if you are not sure with regards to what you are using, you may just select the last option, which you are not sure of. That's absolutely fine. I can see more than 50% votes are already there. I'll give a couple of seconds just to get one more vote and then probably launch the poll and show you what kind of mix do we have today. So as we see right now, we can see 20% of the audience are from 12.1.x. So I guess there are some specific area which you would like to take away from this webinar to help you create your business case. And we see there are many customers who are already upgraded to 12.2.x, which is, let's say, 80% of the customers. For sure, we are going to touch base with regards to how do we see other customers are doing an option appraisal and what kind of roadmap are they choosing upon. So that would be probably helpful for you from takeaway point from today's session. I will hide the poll question and continue to presentation. Thank you. So when I talk about paradigm shift, the ability to respond from the on-premises system, and that is with regards to the constraint, what we have for the infrastructure, the hardware which you might be having in your data center. It could be with regards to the configuration of the processes, which could have happened a few years back, and we have seen many of the customers a decade back, the configurations were done. The resources who are currently using that particular systems and required to maintain this. And this does not help you to reach to the customer demand. And so the ability to respond goes in a linear fashion, but the demand is an exponential fashion. So you need to have something which will help you to reach to your demands and make sure that the things are in place to achieve that particular demand which you're seeing in orange color. We believe for more experience, you need to have new technology, you need to have new products to get on board, and new business model to be competitive in this kind of scenario. To accelerate this, we have been hearing from our customers about the COVID-19 situation, and it has accelerated the overall digital transformation journey or the mapping which let's say many of the organizations are taking, which would require to have higher let's say viewpoint for the digital workplace and the channels, along with the high visibility of a value chain. Now let's try to see what the third-party research companies like Gartner is referring. So they're suggesting that by 2022, the spend on cloud would increase from the current spend on, let's say, on-premises systems, and you can see that the cloud is going exponentially over here after that particular duration. The same is also from the end user inquiries. The demand or the ask which they are getting from the customers is more with regards to the cloud. So you can see from the demand perspective, it is moving towards to the cloud. If you take another aspect from IDC, which says that in next 5 years, the spend would be doubling, and that is going to be almost 500 billions for the public cloud consumption. So this is where we see that it is going to go in a curve, and it is going to be exponential, not linear, the way we saw last 5 years. So we believe time is now to do an option appraisal and see whether the investment what you have made with regards to the current system, is it fine, or is it a time to relook and see how we can enhance and how we can get better on doing the things. Having said that, coming to the situation where many of the customers are sitting on Oracle eBusiness Suite. So this is a roadmap, and these are the systems which we have been loving from let's say last 2 decades, I would say. And there are many things we have been living with Oracle eBusiness Suite. Now, this is for your reference. It started, let's say, in 1987, where the inception was there. And then after, it is a roadmap where in 2019, we have a 12.2.9. Now, if you see the current roadmap, and I guess many of you who are sitting on 12.2 version, the latest release was been made in September 2020, which is 12.2.10. Now, one thing what 20% of the audience has to consider who are sitting on 12.1, that the previous support through is with December 2021. So you would have to require to take a decision or what is that you would like to do on this particular scenario. So that is one compelling event which many of our customers who has taken journey to the cloud are having aspect about let's say support till December 2021. For 80% of the audience who are already upgraded to the 12.2x version, they need not to be worried. So the support, premium support is going to last till 2031. But what we have also noticed that the level of innovation which you're getting on cloud is exponentially high in cloud and it is linear in, let's say, on-premises system. If you see from 2014 to till 2020, there is no 12.3, and that has been already confirmed by Oracle that that is not going to have a upgraded version from 12.2.3. So it is going to be linear fashion, and that is going to be a one upgrade per year. So you can see 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and in 2021 you're going to have, let's say, 11. So this is how we have seen that the linear things are going on. We will take an option appraisal and also share why few of our customers are still choosing the upgrade part into our option appraisal into the subsequent slide. Now, before I move on, we understand that from third-party research organizations, the world is going to the cloud. We see from the spend perspective and the investment perspective from the vendors, it is on cloud. Having this situation, I just wanted to understand whether currently things what you are using, let's say for Oracle e-business suite, is it been deployed on premises, which could be on your data center? So if you can select the option number 1, if it is in your data center. If it has been hosted on, let's say, infrastructure, it could be any infrastructure. It could be Oracle infrastructure cloud service. It could be AWS. It could be Azure, or it could be the private cloud to other vendors. So you may select option number 2. You may want to select option number 3 if it's a combination of it. We have seen many of the customers, some of the items are on premises and some of the things are on cloud. It could be with regards to the instance or the applications which you're using. Or you already moved to the SaaS, so that is option if you have not taken a journey to the cloud at this point of time. I can see more than 50% vote. So I guess majority of us who are in this particular session are sitting on premises and our data center is been within our place. So I guess this is one of the compelling event we have seen through many of the customers. And I'll be going to the option appraisal and show you that what kind of options as a customer do you have and you may want to opt for. I will hide the poll question. So as a customer of e-business suite, one thing could be if you're on 12.1, you do nothing. You and for the support to complete and you stay where you are with the business as usual. Now you may want to continue that, but I guess the cost which you're incurring is in a high fashion. So you take a cost which is a software cost of Oracle Business Suite. It might be a small portion, but to maintain this, to keep the lights on, you would require a lot of cost involved into that particular thing. So this is one dimension which you may want to consider. Second is about the new functionalities. It's not like that you cannot have the new functionalities in e-business suite like AI, machine learning and other things. You for sure can have that, but it requires higher level of configuration and complexity to make that happen. Whereas in cloud, we have seen it is getting embedded within the application, which eases your overall functionality. When you talk about the robustness and scalicity, we see almost it's going in a live fashion. But if you want to be a next Netflix, or if you would like to, let's say, be a next Facebook, which is having kind of a new dimension altogether, then you be able to think of new systems which can help you to reach there. Support period, as we are aware, this is one of the key aspects what we have seen going into the business case, and the upgrade cost which we are incurring, along with the complexity and the pain which we get to do that upgrade. And we have seen that 5-year adoption cycle. Whereas in cloud, as Gary was referring, it is more of a swift updates which happens in 90 days. The second option could be, and this is again specifically for the customers where the data is or the systems are still on premises. We have our data centers now in Middle East, in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, as well as in, let's say, Saudi Arabia. So this could be one option what you may want to choose for to lift your on-premises systems currently from your data center and shift it to the Oracle data center. There are a couple of ways where we have done this kind of thing. You may want to move and then improve, or you may just want to keep it as is at this point of time and then see what kind of enhancement you can do. If you are interested in that, we have 4 use cases where we have done this kind of engagement, and we are more than happy to share that success story and probably build your overall plan how that could happen for you. The third could be upgrade to the business suite. So I guess that applies to the 20% of the audience we have today. For sure, there are good functionalities which are coming in, like command center that has been loved by many of the customers who have upgraded. There are certain functionalities like leasing, IFRS, and other part which are getting automated, and then functionalities which were not there are coming in picture, and so on and so forth. Mobility is something which is also coming into the picture, where it is going to be more mobile friendly, and the reporting would be taken into a better case. But still, we see the cost of an upgrade is going to be high. So the amount you spend on the upgrade is still going to be at a let's say higher quantum. It's difficult, complex. It also has a risky proposition when we have to make sure the customizations or the integrations which we have written currently works well when we do the upgrade. You may also need to upgrade your hardware or operating system just to make sure that you have the right performance available once you have upgraded. And for sure, the ongoing cost to keep the lights on is high. So these are the areas where many of our customers are having this option as a lower priority, and they're getting value proposition on cloud at a higher way. But it is not the case that all the customers are opting for Oracle Cloud. I'll share some thoughts that some of the customers are going with a coexistence approach. And I will share one story which probably also help you to understand that even staying on a business suite, how you can start consuming Oracle Cloud, how you can start testing. And if you feel comfortable over there, then you go for a complete, let's say, move from business suite to Oracle Cloud. So there are options we have seen customers are taking. And the last one is about Oracle Cloud. So to say that I guess Gary has covered the majority of the part, all the solutions which are referring are covered. And not only that, you have embedded AI and machine learning part, which helps you to get that edge from your competitive as an advantage to you. And it helps you to get better value from your investment. It's the same one cloud, one data model. So there are no different clouds. Even though we say ERP cloud, supply chain cloud, it's just to show you the different tracks or stream, but actually it's a single cloud where everything is unified in nature. It's integrated with each other. So that is one of the benefits of what our customers are referring to us. And time to value. This is one of the key aspects what we have seen. People are looking for quick win. Although strategically there are plans over there, but you have to make sure that your ROI is faster, is maximized when you take this kind of step. So this is one of the key aspects what you may want to consider on this regards. And as I said, embedded advanced technology, this is one of the key area where a lot of investment from Oracle is going. If you take the return on investments and benefits, there is one table which I wanted to share you. And for some of you who are maybe creating a business case for a change or business case for next 5 years, you may want to take certain piece out of it. When I talk about the solution, again, e-business suite is traditionally on-premises model, and it was been made for a certain, let's say, aspect when it started. But Oracle Cloud is more agile, more updated, more renewed one which we see. Both of them are enterprise solutions, so there is no going back in that particular thing. Upgrade is something which has been loved in Oracle because it is swifter, it is faster, and you are able to embrace new functionalities and technology much faster pace than Oracle Business Suite. Innovation, customization is something which is again, it's a boon as well as the pain which you get it after a certain use. You're seeing customers having many customization at the start, but then after they forget what was that made for, and then there sometimes becomes a complexity to maintain that customization. Same applies to the interfaces if you are having a multi-system, let's say, architecture in that. You take about the value, I guess Gary also referred to certain aspect, people come for cost. So majority of the customers we have seen, cost is one of the key area, and we have seen customers getting up to 52% of lower total cost of ownership. There are a couple of customers which I am going to share story upon. They almost reduce around 30 to 45% of the total cost of ownership when they upgraded to Oracle Cloud, and that is year one. You don't have to wait for anything. It starts and you automatically get that benefit. Second was with regards to the productivity gain. It could be with regards to the cycle time of, let's say, closing the books. It could be with regards to the exceptions which you are getting currently for the reconciliation. It could be with regards to the procure to pay cycle, which is taking, let's say, longer duration at this point of time, and you don't have a visibility how you can improve that particular thing. So we have seen people taking that into the advantage and enhancing the overall program. Now, to make that happen, we as the Evosys have created a solution which is, let's say, foolproof. It's a risk-free proven methodology which we have termed as a Glide. And Glide is over 14 years of learnings by implementing a lot of solutions on Oracle Cloud and seeing how the customers are looking for the value from the investments which they are making. Now, this program could be executed in multifaceted. If you are a customer who are happy with the business suite, the lower cost of ownership is low, but you don't have, let's say, for an example, advanced procurement. So you don't have sourcing currently being implemented on e-business suite, and you are thinking that whether should I implement sourcing of e-business suite or whether should I implement sourcing for cloud. And we have seen a recent customer which I was referring to was Al Yasab, who is a satellite communication company in UAE. It's operated across 150 countries. They are still using Oracle E-Business Suite, which is a part of Mubadala Group. But for the advanced procurement piece, they opted for Oracle Cloud. And we recently went live with regards to the coexistence structure. So they keep maintaining Oracle E-Business Suite, and they have consumed the Oracle Advanced Procurement Cloud services, which are working in tandem with the business suite. So this could be one way where if you are still not ready, you can select a process, or you can optimize the process and select that particular thing on Oracle Cloud. We have seen many of the customers like Gulf Drilling, Al Gihaz, they have made a complete move. So they say that we have multiple instances right now. Instead of upgrading all of them into the latest version, why don't I unify that thing into, let's say, Oracle Cloud? And they have taken a complete leap from the e-business suite to Oracle Cloud. So we also have that kind of scenario. Now, depending upon what kind of stage you are in with regards to your journey, there is a proven way where we can start. I will take this into the call to action as a process. And below you can see the accelerators. So it is not like that we do the things manually. From our learnings and from our experience, we have created assets which will help you to accelerate the overall journey and provide you higher value to your investments as far as time and effort is concerned. One more thing, and I think this is one thing which has been loved by the customers where we have done this. Investment is one thing. Selecting the right product and selecting right partner is for sure important. But what happens once we do the implementation? Once you're gone live, are you knowing what kind of utilization of system is happening? Are you currently knowing how much time is it taking currently to do my procure to pay cycle? Are you currently knowing that how many days is it taking to close the cycle, or let's say business closure of books? Even if you know that particular part, do you have an area where the bottleneck is happening? Now, we saw this as a big problem in many of the implementations which were done previously in the market. And to solve that particular problem, we have come up with this solution where we not only do the implementation for you, but at the start itself, we put our skin in the game. So we help you identify that these are the KPIs which you would like to have most impact on the business. We take this as a challenge. We configure the overall solution to achieve that particular KPIs. And to measure and monitor that, we also have value-based analytics, so that you know that once you go live, whether you are going in a red or whether you are going in a green. And this is something which has been appreciated by many of the customers, and I'm sure that this is something what could be also beneficial for you for the journey to the cloud part. As we speak, we have over 100 customers who have transformed from on-premises system to Oracle Cloud, and these are some of the logos, and there are video testimonials which are already there on our website. You may want to have a quick look into that part and see how close do you see yourself with this kind of successes we have got in different customers. The first one we wanted to share was Lambeth. This is one of the customers in public sector in UK. And like many public sector companies, there is a cost which is currently there, and the cost saving part is more important. So there is a significant financial pressure as far as systems were concerned, and not only about the systems, but in general to operate the overall business. they had to spend lesser, and there was a financial pressure over here. Decision making, as we said, that if all the business processes are not in unified system, it becomes difficult to combine everything and make a right decision on that. So this was some of the challenges which they faced. They took a decision to move completely to the cloud. So they went with like-to-like feedback. So whatever they had on e-business suite, they moved into Oracle Cloud to start with. And now they are enhancing the overall portfolio with additional functionalities and the new modules which are coming into the Oracle Cloud. This is again with the vision of mobility and the agility which they're getting with the Lambeth Future 2025. So this is one good use case, which is a cross-pillar deal with regards to the ERP, EPM, HCM, along with the procurement part. And payroll is something which is very unique to UK, and that is some this was one of the first customers who opted for the UK payroll, and we as Evosys implemented that thing. There is a video over here. This video could be also played back, and you may want to just hear what kind of let's say feedback the customers are suggesting over here. So that is with regard to the public sector. Now, take a second example of, let's say, higher education. In higher education, also there are similar situation where the grant from the government or grant are under pressure, where they have to make sure that they spend less amount with regards to the expenses which are getting incurred. Second was with regards to the challenges of utilization of system. Now, this customer was using ERP as well as HCM. But the amount of employee self-services and amount of manager self-services was very, very less. So they had to always depend on the core team to manage the overall HR portfolio. These were some of the areas when they wanted to make sure it becomes more of a self-service rather than core team-driven. So we had an assessment engagement with them, and we made a plan that they will be moving from e-business suite HCM to Oracle Cloud HCM as a stage 1. And then after, currently they're going with Oracle ERP cloud services. So these are the step journey. Rather than going everything at a go, you may want to phase out depending upon your priorities and your, let's say, problems what you currently might have. So this is one good use case. And if you'd like to hear the complete feedback and the webinar which we conducted last month with them, you are more than happy to reach to this particular link and go to this particular webinar where customers are referring their pain points and are sharing the overall journey to the cloud. The third one is Gihaz, and I guess this was one of the important area which I wanted to share a story upon. It's a Saudi company. It's a multi-billion revenue organization, and it's a group company. So there were a lot of business. You can see some of the business like engineering, procurement, and construction. That's a turnkey part, and they are having a scalability with regards to the businesses within Saudi as well as outside Saudi. Now they wanted to make sure that they had different silos of the things currently. So you can see the operational processes were different. Some of the departments were using the systems in the right way, but still many of the processes were semi-manual. So these were some of the problems which they referred to. We deployed all the solutions, so not only what they had, but we also added advanced solutions being put forward to make sure that they are having end-to-end process within the Oracle part, and they're getting the business benefit of having all the solutions within the integrated Oracle cloud. And not only that, now the rollouts which are happening for the other companies which are subsidiary of Gihaz, that are getting easier in nature because it is more of a unified process and getting converted or getting addition into additional customer. Automation of the process is one of the key things which we were referring. So as Gary was referring, people come for the cost, but they stay for the innovation. I guess automation was one of the key objective which is being taken into consideration, and this has been currently applied for Gihaz. It does not only depend on the current needs what you have, so you also have to consider the future needs of your organization, which is a cross-pillar kind of engagement. The last one for today, as far as business case is concerned, many of you would be joining from Saudi, would be very much aware of it's a Zamil Industrial. It's again a conglomerate. You can see a number of companies which are wholly owned, and there are some joint ventures which are also there. They have named the project as ASAS, and Abdullari is currently the head of this particular engagement, which is going as an implementation along with Evosys. Just to give a glimpse of it, understand the complexity and size of the deal, how they were. So they are having around 25 legal entities spread across 6 geographies, and you can see the customization. And I'm sure that many of you would be also able to relate yourself with this customer. As far as instances were concerned, it was having a different instance for different regions due to certain localization requirement. Now, when they move to the Oracle Cloud, it is going to be a single unified instance. They also had other solutions along with Oracle Business Suite. It would be merged into one single platform of, let's say, Oracle. They want to adopt best practices and almost customization. They want to decrease in this regards. They would like to embrace the new technology. So this is something which is in flight. And if you'd like to have more details, we are more than happy to share that what kind of journey we are having with Zamit. Now, as a closing part, we just wanted to tell you, depending upon where you are, this is the full canvas of our transformation journey. If you are someone who have a huge customization on, let's say, Oracle Business Suite, you are still not sure whether you should go for cloud or not, or whether cloud is good. You might be knowing that cloud is good, but you are not sure where to start from. Then you may opt for the assessment with Evosys. We can help you to do a system assessment. If you think we also want to identify the business objective, that is also we can do for you. The second use case could be, you know about the technicalities part. You already have a team who knows what kind of customizations are there, what kind of things you want to bring from, let's say, business suite, and what is that a target model which you want to have in Oracle Cloud. So technical part is done from you, but you want to know what kind of ROI you can generate from it. What kind of overall KPIs which I can take as an objective and align with my strategic vision. Then you may opt for the insight activity, where we help you to get this particular KPIs identified and connect it back with regards to strategic vision. Not only that, once we identify and tag that, as I told you about the skin in the game, we work along with you as a partner, and we want to make sure that when we do the implementation and configuration of the things, that KPIs are aligned in nature and provide you the valuable analytics to measure and monitor that particular thing, whether it is going in green or whether it is going in red. The third one could be, you know all this case, you know what is your business case, you know about your technical problems what you have, you know about the objectives what you have set. You may want to opt for the implementation, which is on to a program of Adapt to Cloud. All these accelerators are being created with the experience what we have and are proven in nature with many of our customers as well as our testing which we do. So this really is helping many of the customers who are opting for this particular transformation journey. So depending upon where you are, we are more than happy to associate with you and suggest you the best course of action which could be taken for your current state. Now with that, this is the last poll which we wanted to take forward, and then we can jump on to the Q&A round. So let me share the last question for you. This is more about to understand that what is that you are looking for. Are you someone who is looking for an assessment of your current e-business suite and Hyperion? So this could be one state where I was referring to a customer called as Denmark Technology University. They started with the assessment. So at least they wanted to know where they could go and what are the areas, how fit they are in cloud, or what kind of things they have to enhance to choose cloud. You could be also in the category that you know that you want to go for, let's say, SaaS solution. And many of our customers are looking for a standard out-of-the-box solution. So that's why they are selecting as a SaaS solution, where the complete approach could be measured and monitored to see whether the objectives have been set, are been identified and monitored or not. If you think like many of the customers are sitting, 80% of the customers are sitting in the data center of our own, immediate value proposition if you'd like to have, this could be an also option where you can move, lift and shift your infrastructure into infrastructure as a service. And as I was referring, now we have a data center in the Middle East, so the data sovereignty low, the data would be residing in the region. So that is one of the key areas where many of our customers who are sitting on a business seat are having a message that what we can do, how we can move to the infrastructure, save the cost, and also increase the overall performance. If you're someone still not sure that how would you like to go, you may want to click for the last option. If you think we as Evosys could be helpful for you, to help in our consultancy session with you and try to see what kind of areas you're looking for and where are you currently. We for sure can advise you in this regards. We have more than 50% vote now. Let me quickly share the votes. We see, I guess the first step has been loved by many of our customers, and I can see similar approach. Around 57% are looking for the assessment. We are more than happy to engage with you and help you get this assessment. Depending upon if objectives are already identified, we can also combine insight to make it more sense from the business perspective. So that combinations could be done, and we can reach out to you to see how we can engage with you. Oracle Cloud SaaS, so around 40% of the audience already know that the value of SaaS and the power of SaaS which are there. So we can share some success stories which we have done and who has taken a complete move from on-premises system to SaaS, which could be helpful for you to create your business case. If you're still not sure, you may want to reach out to us and we can help you to build that particular plan, either continue with the investment what you have or suggest you something which could be helpful for your system as well as business perspective. I will hide the poll now. And the last one is, I guess we are finishing right on time. Now we have around 10 minutes. So we may take the poll questions or the questions which we have on the chat box to start with. And if any of you have any questions, we can also unmute you and make it live. And you can also speak along with the forum and we can have a communication. So we are open both ways. If you want to speak up, you may raise your hand. We'll take the first questions in Q&A and then we'll take the questions live. Anurit, do we see any questions at this point of time in the chat box?
Not yet. Please
Nice.
do feel free to ask any questions you may have and we'll answer them all. Thank you so much. Yeah. And thank you everyone for actively participating in the polls.
Yeah. I can see Mr. Javed has raised his hand. Mr. Javed, I unmuted you.
Yes.
You may want to raise your question.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you well.
Yes. Actually, we are using Oracle eBusiness Suite starting from you can say 1993 onwards, and we are very mature organization using EBS, Oracle EBS, and now it's time to cloud. The cloud environment is whether we can move easily without any.
Gary, are you able to hear him clearly?
That's a little bit broken up, unfortunately.
Can you hear me?
Javed. Javed, I think
can I ask again?
This is breaking in between, so we were not able to understand the complete questions what you are putting forward to us. Is that okay if you can repeat, or if connectivity is the concern, you may just want to put the question on a chat box so that we can take up that question over here. If that's okay. Either or way, we are fine. Thank you, Mr. Javed. Any other questions from any other member? I guess one of the question which I see, and I think Gary, you may want to take up this question. With regards to the new data center which are coming in the region, what kind of change, or is it something, or if you'd like to share some insight with regards to what value proposition customers can get from the Middle East?
Well, it's not one of my specialty subject areas. I maintain a keen interest on seeing the number of data centers that are coming into the region. You know, and since I've only been in the region for 3 years, and you know, in the last 2 years we've seen a lot of activity in new data centers. So two data centers in Saudi, and now 2 data centers in UAE. So those are you know, those are the OCI2 next generation data centers. They're providing a level of performance that you know, is kind of almost unreachable for most of our customers in terms of what they provide. So when you move to the cloud, you're not moving to just the software, and it's not just about the business applications. It's about the underlying infrastructure as well. You'll get a huge boost in terms of security, performance, resilience, and all of that now obviously local. So if you're in Saudi, if you're in UAE, so the backup data center is local as well. So for a long time we just had the UAE data center, and the DR, the disaster recovery, was elsewhere. All of that now is all in the region. So you can have UAE data center with UAE disaster recovery, or the disaster recovery in Saudi, or whatever you want. You've got many more choices now than you had just 2 years ago. So it's probably less than 2 years when the UAE's data center came on board, and the amount of innovation that's already gone in to those is staggering. The investment is millions. It's literally millions and millions of dollars. So anybody that takes a simple minimum user license for financials gets all of that included in the subscription. I mean, it's quite amazing.
Yeah. Thank you, Gary. And I was also able to resonate one of our customers who were sitting on-premises systems, and they were also having their systems on their own data center. Not only they opted to move the complete ERP into SaaS, which is out-of-the-box solutions which are available, but they also wanted to make sure that whatever the other systems which are lying and which are a niche solution for them, they did not want to own and operate the data center. So along with the SaaS offering, they also opted for the infrastructure. And right now they are in a situation where everything would be moved from on-premises to Oracle Cloud, regardless of whether it is an Oracle product or non-Oracle product. So that kind of wisdom people are getting, and making sure that they are taking and consuming cloud as much as they can. So that was one of the use cases which I wanted to resonate to this particular question. Thank you for the question. Any other questions?
The doctor, sorry, did he come back with his question?
Dr. Javed, I'm not sure whether you did put a chat response or in a question box. I cannot see still the question. Or if your audio is okay, you may want to unmute and try once, just to to have a good conversation along with the group.
Or he can send you an email and we'll answer it together, because.
Yeah, Anuruddha, you may want to send across email to send it across. Yeah, I guess
yeah, we do have a question from Javed. You can take that up.
Yeah, I think Dr. Javed, thank you for the question. And we have been, so the question is, we have been using the Oracle e-business suite since 1993. So glad to Dr. Javed, and I guess I talked about 2 decades, but I guess it is, the relation goes more than 2 decades. So I would definitely say that. And your data is and we have data in our database since 1981. And what do you recommend for us? So a great question, I would say. Thank you, Dr. Javed, for sharing this particular question with us.
Thank you for being a customer for such a long time. We really, on behalf of Oracle, I thank you for being such a loyal customer.
Yeah, thank you. We have seen similar customers. I'm not sure about the number of years with Oracle, more than 20. But we have seen many customers who have been with Oracle for more than 15 years. For the historical data, we are recommending certain archival solutions which will help you to mesh up with the existing solution. So the way we suggest data migration is, for the open transactions along with the master data, you move it into the SaaS application, which is your out-of-the-box solution where you get your financials, human capital management, and everything. So that goes into the SaaS. When it comes to the historical data of, let's say, certain rules which are governed by government, so there are certain rules which you would like to have your data, we put it into the infrastructure or into the PaaS solution. We mesh it up with regards to the BI layer and make it provided with the historical plus the current data. So this is one solution which is, let's say, hot selling cake, and many of our customers are opting for that particular solution. So this could be one immediate suggestion from our side. but for sure we can have further discussion and help you that what kind of engagement we can have and relate with one of the success story which we have in similar scenario. Gary, would you like to comment on that particular scenario if you have come across?
No, I think a valid scenario. So moving to the cloud, gives you an opportunity to maybe think about things that you weren't able to do before when you were doing upgrades because you were just taking the data forward every time. So for one thing, you will not lose any data. So there will be no data that's been left behind. But it gives you an opportunity to look at options of how you might make that historical data more accessible to the applications and to other people within the organization. So it's a great opportunity just to think about how you want to maybe clean that data and how you might want to analyze it going forward. Certainly, 20 years of purchase orders, is that really necessary to bring all those into the current system? Probably not. Okay. So it gives you an opportunity to do all sorts of things that you wouldn't be able to do if you just did an upgrade to the next release of eBusiness Suite. So yeah, you use it as an opportunity. That's what I would say.
Yeah, and I would like to resonate, Gary, that you don't lose what you have. So again, the value proposition is for sure like things you get on Oracle Cloud, and you get more things what you're currently getting. So that is something what our customers are also telling back to us. Thank you.
Thank you for that question.
Thank you, Dr. Javed. Any other questions from any of the members? I guess we are through to the time also, Anurit. We may take your questions over the email. So Anurit will send across email where you can send your questions back to us, and we'll reply that particular thing back to you. Now, after this particular session, as we talked about how we can engage with you, we are more than happy for the assessment phase, which we can start with you to help you understand that what value proposition you can avail from the Oracle Cloud, or whether it is a right fit for you or not. So these are some of the activities which you can kickstart, and we are more than happy to engage going further. Thank you so very much, everyone, for joining today, and thank you, Gary, for being with us. And we would like to continue this momentum in coming year, and hopefully this 2020 ends in the right note, and we have a better 2021 coming ahead. Thank you, everyone, and have a great day ahead.